Estoy un poquito nerviosa. I'm a little nervous, so I did bring my notes up just in case. So gracias. All right. Gracias. All right. Tranquilos. The tools in our toolbox. Saying goodbye to apartment 104. September 2018, Charlotte, North Carolina. Hurricane Florence blew into the Queen City. What was a difficult time for some ended up being a wonderful life gift for me. A Category 4 storm brought into my life a fantastic man with a little help from a dating app I'm forever indebted to, Bumble. Yeah. There's always a calm after the storm. As Hurricane Florence made her exit, I too made mine. And I found myself on my third floor balcony a little while later, involved in a late night conversation. Late night being 10 p.m. for this Spanish teacher, who's usually winding down at such a time. You see, earlier that day, a handsome Virginia born and raised gentleman's profile on Bumble caught my attention. His kind eyes and gorgeous smile intrigued this dark-haired, blue-eyed New York City girl. Nueva York. After exchanging a few private messages, I invited him to give me a call in true Shelley fashion. That September evening, while I was enjoying a gentle breeze from my balcony, the phone rang. It was then that I heard the voice of the man who would ultimately become one of my favorite humans. His name was William. We spoke of places we lived and places we traveled to. I cannot recall what else, but our free spirits rather quickly connected. About 20 minutes into our phone call, I suddenly heard my voice coming out of the speaker on his cell phone. Again, that was my voice coming out of the speaker on his cell phone. What are the odds? I'd really love to know. Apparently he was just returning from a meetup group. My first impulse, it was to walk to the balcony's edge, lean over and yell down a hey. He looked up in surprise and responded with a hey. I proceeded to announce I'm coming down and made my way down to the sidewalk in front of our apartment complex. Turns out he lived in the same 6-building apartment complex as I did. Building 6511 to be precise, the same building. He on the first floor in apartment 104, and my son Jared and I on the third floor. And in true rom-com fashion, my son Jared was the first resident he met 3 months prior. I'm not sure if we decided on an afternoon run date that evening or the following day. But what I am confident of is that I'm so grateful to have sat out on my balcony and opened up my soul again to love. We were in our 40s when our paths crossed and joined. He was, for me, the only man I'd ever loved going to sleep alongside or waking up next to. He was the calm in my storm. You see, a few years prior, I had traversed quite the storm when I left an unhealthy 17-year marriage. But with William, this was my first time being in love, and boy, did we love each other. I love how he would make our bed daily, military style, as he had been, exactly, sexy, okay, as he in his former army, or how he would kiss my forehead ever so gently. We'd always say goodbye or hello with a kiss, and being true fitness junkies that we are, we had the occasional plank contest. We would sit by the pool at our apartment complex and have conversations about growing up in the church, about podcasts, justice issues, politics, and he being a foodie, of course, food. One birthday, he took me out to dinner, and I was wearing this sexy black jumpsuit and some red high heels. Yes, he's 5'8" and I'm 5'7", and well, I had worn heels before on dates, but at this time I'd gotten into my head thinking about our height difference, and I was like, yada yada yada. Anyway, I changed to flats. But the next morning, he asked why had I changed my shoes. He said that he didn't like that, and that I worked so hard to stay in shape, I should never make myself smaller to make someone else feel better.